start this video off by reminding everyone the race between myself and Determageddon ZL1 is July 8th at Cecil County Dragway. The time will be posted shortly when we figure out what time they are hosting the test and tune, and it will be weather pending. Hope to see y'all there. Alright, everyone's doing these videos where they just drive around and talk about a topic. You know, and I'm always out here tearing my shit up for you guys, so I said, hey, might as well drive around, give you guys some good information, and you know, make a quick little video here. So let's get started. So let's get into it. The big topic is always turbo or supercharger. You know, it's a tough question. You can only make so much power NA, and once you hit that ceiling, you obviously want more power. So the question is, what do you do? Obviously, forced induction or nitrous. Nitrous is a little bit hard on parts. You know, I say that and I break a ton of parts, but my car's heavy. But it's not always there. The good thing about a supercharger, a turbocharger, or a procharger system is the power is always there. So, you know, for me, I got to it. Originally, I was going to go with a Whipple supercharger. It makes great power. Hold on, let me. All right, I had to fix the lighting there. So, originally, I was going to go with Whipple supercharger. They make great power. They're awesome. But you never see a turbo car, like, you know, a V8 aftermarket custom turbo car. You see a couple kits out there, but nothing crazy. So I wanted to go turbo. I fell in love with turbos, so that's like the route I was going with. Superchargers are good, you know, there's the pros and cons. They're cost-wise, they're definitely more cost-effective. You can make some good power with a blower, especially if you go with dual power adder, eventually you throw nitrous on top of it, you know. That's a popular route. You see more of that now. But the superchargers, they're good. They're a little bit cheaper to install because, you know, it bolts right on. Essentially, it's a bolt-on. It bolts on, you know, it changes the pulleys around a little bit. You know, you get to put injectors up the fuel system, and you're pretty much good to go. When you're going with the turbo kit, you have to get the turbo, you have to get the wastegates, you have to get the blow-off valve. Yeah, for me, I do custom hot side, custom cold side, get an intercooler. You know, there's a lot more factors that go into it. Then you got to get fuel system. You know? Then for me, you know, obviously because I'm racing, you know, I need to get boost controller, need to get two-step, need to get a bump box. Like, it just keeps going, you know, which is fine. At the end of the day, you got to pay to play. Now, there's cars that are just as fast, not faster, that are blower cars, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're on different setups. My car makes great power for what it is. It's not really a crazy setup. It's got a great turbo kit, but the motor's not there. It just makes really good power for that motor, just because, you know, the cam that I'm running, RPM custom grind cam, makes great power. So cost-wise, turbos are a lot more expensive. Now the other thing is the power delivery is a lot different. Turbos, obviously everyone knows about turbo lag. Blower cars have instant power, and you could really tell when you ride in it, especially on the street. You know, a blower car feels fast as hell. You know, it just feels like it's moving all the time. The thing is just screaming. Turbos, they sound cool, you know, they feel sweet when the boost comes in, but you don't realize how fast they're going, how much power they're putting down until you let off the gas and you really, you know, you let up from that seat. So it's pretty cool to see the difference. For me personally, I think that blower cars are badass on the street. Now I'm not talking about, like, obviously a stock blower like on a C7 is cool, you know, because it makes boost, it makes good power, but I'm talking about like a big blower, like a 2.9 Whipple, you know, or I haven't ridden a car with a 4.5 Whipple, but I want to get my hands on one, you know, and especially if it's a light car with a blower, dude, wild, absolutely wild. So for me, when it came down to it, I was originally going to go with a blower. Then I said I wanted to go turbo, and I didn't realize really what I was getting myself into when I said I wanted to go turbo, because it's a lot more than you can ever imagine. I'm making like the world's sharpest turn. Alright. So either way you look at it, you gotta have a good fuel system if you're going boost. You gotta have good injectors, you gotta have a good fuel pump. You never want to run out of fuel. That's like the #1 thing. The deciding factor for me, and I feel like it is for a lot of people if they're going to a certain extent, if you just want some added power, go with a supercharger. Put it on the car, you know, if you want more power, put a smaller pulley on it. I'm talking about in, you know, the more common applications. Now if you want to make big power, you want to be a badass. I'm not saying you have to have big power to be badass, but I mean, your car's out there making 1,200–1,300 horsepower, you're a damn badass, you know, that's how it is. So if you want to make a ton of power, you can only spin that supercharger so much. You can only put such a small pulley on it. You got to worry about belt slip, you know, and belts are chewing themselves up. We got some fast blower cars at the shop, but so some of them just eat up belts left and right, you know, 3 or 4 passes changing belts, you know. That's just how it is with a blower car. For me, the only thing I really have to change is converters, I guess, because I just tear through converters, but that's a different story. And that's what it comes down to, is kind of the ceiling that the superchargers have. Turbos, you know, as long as you have a big enough turbo and you have a motor that can spin it, you know, the sky is the limit. You can put as much boost, or you can keep that gate shut as much as you want and turn that boost up as high as that motor can take it, you know, or as much as that turbo can spin. So for me, when I was doing it, I said I want a nasty turbo. Now the issue with going with a big turbo is obviously more turbo lag, but for me, like I have a billet Precision Gen 2 8891, you know, it spins pretty good. It spools pretty quick for what it is, especially on the street. So it's not too bad, but it's still big enough where I can put a different motor in the car and crank that bitch up and let it ride, make some huge power with it. You know, right now I barely tap into it when I crank it up to like 17, 18 pounds. That thing is barely working, so it's got more. On the other hand, if that was a blower, that'd be at the ceiling, you know. I'd have a small pulley on it, I'd be spinning the hell out of it, I'd be worried about belt slip, I'd be at like a 10 rib, I'd be looking for a 30 rib at this point, you know. The widest belt, it's not gonna have any slippage, and that's what it comes down to. Now for the guys that don't race, going with a turbo kit is like, I feel personally like it's overkill. Now if you love the turbos, if you're just in love with turbos, dude, why not? I mean, it's your car, you're spending money on it, get what you want, make sure you're happy with it. The other thing that with a blower, you know, is it gets heat soaked. But on the other hand, turbos get hot under the car because everything's baking, you know. You got the headers facing forward, you know, everything's under there. For my car, airflow is not like the biggest thing. I wouldn't say it loves airflow, I'd say that it struggles to breathe. And it gets hot under there, so I have a big oil cooler, I have a trans cooler. I got as much cooling on there as I can. Now, when you get to the track, if you have a good setup, you know, my car doesn't get too hot when I make a pass. Lower cars, you know, they make one or two. If they go too quick, they get heat soaked, they really start dropping power, so you gotta be careful with that, you know. That's what it comes down to. When, at the end of the day, when you're looking to put boost on a car, you know, you gotta look at what you want. If you're gonna keep wanting more power, superchargers seem to hit that ceiling a little bit quicker. And I'm talking about within reason. I mean, you can still make well over 1,000 horsepower with a supercharger, but if you want to make 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, you know, turbo's the way to go. Unless you're going blower nitrous or you know, working the hell out of it. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. If you guys like these types of videos, I can get more information to you guys. I can get more technical. I try to keep it relaxed when I'm doing these, not get real technical with you guys. But if you like them, I could do that. Comment below what you want to see, if you'd like me to talk about a topic or whatever. And you know, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, it's ridiculous. I got over 11,000 followers on YouTube and not even 1,000 on Instagram. So my Instagram, I'll put the handle right here. It's John_Doc1. Follow me up there. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. As always, let me know what you want to see next, what we want to talk about, what you want to do. We'll see you next time.